You are listening to a recording from the 2021 PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair. We would like to take a moment to thank the residency programs who have taken the time to present at our fair this year. This year's PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair is supported by PM&R Recap, the best resource for your physiatry clinical preparation, audition rotations, board preparation, and beyond. PM&R Recap offers 35 hours of review videos, hundreds of review questions, and even oral board cases. Head to pmnrrecap.com to learn more.
And, certainly I am Monica Rowe. I am the Residency Program Director here at the Shirley Ryan AbilityLab. We're so excited to talk with you today. And actually, we're really hoping to get to interact with you a lot. So for those of you who are so inclined, feel free to turn on your cameras. We always like looking at beautiful faces of aspiring physiatrists so that we get a sense of who everyone is. So if you're so inclined, I know some people might be commuting and leaving work and various things like that. But I am Monica Rowe. I have with me today our 3 chief residents and then one of our newly minted PGY3 residents. She's very excited. She is no longer a PGY2 resident as of today. And so we are all here to talk with you a little bit about our program. But I know as students, you guys really want to hear what's going on the ground level. So I'm going to let the residents take it away and let them introduce a little bit of our program to you. All right. So who's taking it first? Is it Meg?
Yeah, so Meg's gonna talk first about life in Chicago as a resident at Shirley Ryan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Hayes. I'm one of the PGY4s, one of the chief residents. I'm the chief resident of Resident Affairs. Kind of a little bit about my background. I grew up on the East Coast. I'm from New Jersey. I did undergrad in New Jersey as well. I went to Seton Hall, and then I did medical school at Drexel in Philly, did my intern year there, and now I'm at the AbilityLab Northwestern for my PM&R residency, planning on applying for a sports medicine fellowship very, very soon. As far as life in Chicago, I can't say enough about the city of Chicago. That was, one of the biggest draws for me. I had been here a couple of times, even being from the East Coast a couple of times in college. And I just really enjoyed it. It's really unique. You can see Chicago down here in the picture on the right. It's a city, but on Lake Michigan. So we have some beaches. It's just a really, really unique opportunity. The neighborhoods are also different. So it's been a really fun opportunity to kind of go around and explore. As far as kind of, you have that opportunity to explore. We also, our program really emphasizes wellness too. We have a wellness committee, which has representation of every level of resident, of fellows, and both, program leadership and attendings too. So we kind of come up together with things we can do. There's the personal aspect where you can explore Chicago, but there's also the kind of more formalized aspect too, where we as a program together kind of decide what we're going to do for wellness, what we're going to do with our budget for that year, whether it's going to be kind of certain classes doing certain things on weekends that we protect so they don't take any call or don't have any clinical obligations so they can spend time together, or things that we do as a class. We also we have 12 residents per year. So we also kind of have a smaller class system where you get buddied with people in different classes so that you definitely get to have that interaction and get to do that socially. And there's also attendings involved. So typically we do 1 or 2, even sometimes 3 activities per year, kind of in that larger group. So you get the opportunity to meet a lot of people across, different levels of training and attendings. So that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions, but also want to make sure everyone else has a chance to introduce themselves.
All right, so I'll go ahead and tell you guys about all of our program perks and extras. Just to introduce myself, my name's Elisa. I grew up in South Carolina, went to undergrad and med school at the University of South Carolina, and matched in Chicago for residency, and it's been super fun. And I'm currently interviewing for pain fellowships. If anyone is interested in pain, I'm happy to talk to you about that. So as far as our program extras, there are just so many offerings, I think, outside of just our excellent clinical training. So if you look at the picture on the left, this is a picture of a spine course that we held one weekend where we were able to work with an attending in small groups and practice doing these interventional spine procedures on a mannequin, which is so valuable. We have another course where we do ultrasound guided injections on cadavers, again, under supervision of our attendings. Our PGY4s do a prosthetics and orthotics course before we take boards, which I know is going to be hugely helpful and I'm looking forward to. We have a ton of research going on here. There's great support, including statisticians. I know I, for one, am very thankful for the statistician I've been working with, because there's no way I could crunch those numbers on my own. Another really unique offering of our program is 6 months of elective time, which is huge, you guys. So we do 1 month of elective, our PGY 3-year, and then 5 months of electives, our PGY 4-year. So for example, I am doing elective this coming block. So I crafted my ideal schedule. So I am going to be doing 2 days of spinal procedures, 1 day of spine clinic, and then 2 days of research per week. And I still have 4 more elective months after this, and I can't wait to continue crafting my schedule. Another unique offering at Northwestern is the opportunity to do different scholarly tracks. So McGaw, Northwestern's medical school, has a number of offerings. We have people who do a bioethics track, a global health track, health equity and advocacy, and medical education tracks. And then just at Shirley Ryan AbilityLab, we also have different scholarly tracks, including medical education and leadership tracks. And I think this has been so helpful. You know, obviously we all go through residency, we get good clinical training, but this is a huge extra for me that's really helped me develop some skills outside of just clinical medicine, and is really molding me into the kind of physician that I want to be. Some other unique opportunities we do sports coverage, so helping with the Chicago Marathon. We cover the Ravinia Arts and Music Festival, so you get to actually cover the artists who are performing there, which is a really unique opportunity. A wrestling tournament. And then the last thing I want to mention about a huge program perk is our vacation policy. I know my intern year, it was such a hassle to take vacation. There were so many months where I was not allowed to take any time off. And then when I did have time off, we were really encouraged to book it a week at a time. It's not like that at all at Northwestern. You know, time off is extremely flexible. On any block, you can take even just a single day off, which has been, I think it's just great for wellness. You know, every once in a while you want a Friday off or a Monday off. I am hoping to match into Pain Fellowship on October 6th, so I will be taking that random Wednesday off in the middle of a week, hopefully to celebrate. But yeah, so many perks to this program. I'm really grateful to have matched here.
All right, so I think it's gonna go over to, is it Caroline, you next?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about, so I just finished PGY 2-year, which is so hard to believe, but I really am going to miss it. I won't spend too much time on, you know, how many months we do TBIs, SCI, but I'm happy to answer questions later or on email if you have specific inpatient curriculum questions. But my thing was just the day-to-day. So you're the resident for a service and you have a set number of patients and you have an attending. But one of the coolest things to me about this program, and what honestly, you know, has been such a joy to come to work every day, is the attending is also kind of like your senior resident. Like, they are some of the most approachable people I've ever met. Everyone loves teaching, like truly loves teaching. And it's just been a joy to take care of patients and learn along with them. And then, you know, for me, when on my interviews and stuff, I think it was just so important for me to know that like the people that I was gonna match with or people that I would want to hang out with. You spend so much time with them, and you know, you really have each other's backs. And I felt that so much with this class and the classes above me. And it's just such a nice atmosphere, that we've just become a really big family. We like wearing fun socks. We like wearing pink on Wednesdays, although it's not mandatory. One of our residents just really likes doing that, and we like him and respect him, so we humor him. And sometimes we hang out on the roof deck. We get pages up there too, so not a problem if you want to get some sun. We've got a really just a close knit group of people. Not a lot of us were from Chicago. I think that's like another important thing to point out. So we kind of all explored it together. But our going back to our attendings, you know, you round with them, they're available all day. I have almost all of their cell phone numbers. And they really want you to call every day or night. I know a lot of people like say that, but they talk the talk and they walk the walk. So it's been a joy to learn from them. I'm happy to answer more questions specifically. The other thing I will say too is, so we're at Shirley Ryan. It's a freestanding rehab hospital next to Northwestern, but it's also been a joy to get to know the Northwestern residents through the years too. You know, we get a lot of opportunities for consults to see not just like, you know, are they an inpatient, you know, rehab candidate, but how do we necessarily help postpartum patients, or if a patient has cerebral palsy, how do we ensure that they have a safe birth plan? We really see a wide variety. We can really be linked up with any of the specialties over at Northwestern because they're so close. And so that was another perk for me too on the inpatient side of things. You get to know all the residents very well, whether they're in your field or not. So that's been a good thing for me.
All right. That actually reminds me, Caroline,
Mhm.
since you brought it up, for those of you guys who may be interested in our program, we're actually listed in ERAS under Northwestern, except we're listed under McGaw Medical Center at Northwestern University. So don't try to Google Shirley, because Shirley won't show up in ERAS. So we just happen to be located at the Shirley Ryan AbilityLab, which is a relatively new rehab facility. We opened 5 years ago. So, but our residents are all Northwestern residents. So, Michael, did you have some words you're going to also jump in with?
Yep. Hey everyone. So I'm Michael. I'm the administrative chief this year. Just a quick intro. I'm from Maryland, where I did my undergrad, medical school, and intern year, and I'll be applying to sports medicine fellowships as well. So just a couple of things. So as you've all seen, Chicago really has so much to offer. And it's really important for us in our program to also give back to our community. So one way we do this is through the community health clinic. And this is a monthly clinic that involves residents, fellows, PT faculty to provide musculoskeletal care at no charge to low-income uninsured patients in Chicago. Really been able to do a lot this year despite COVID. We've been able to provide diagnostic evaluation, management options. We've been able to fundraise for our patients to give them resources like ice packs, lumbar rolls, and even like treat your own back books in a variety of languages to really help our patients out. Our residents are also involved in a virtual STEM career series, which is a lecture series and kind of a time for our residents to talk to middle school and high school students from really all over Chicago, to really give them a look into various medical careers and put a plug in for PM&R as well. And then the other thing I wanted to touch upon was our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really learning and discussing ways to make our community a better and healthier place. So as part of Northwestern University, we participate in an annual, Diversity and Inclusion Week, which includes a bunch of workshops, talks that involves a ton of kind of really interesting topics from all different domains of healthcare and society. Our own department of PM&R also has a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee that really hones in that discussion for our own program and really tries to promote that atmosphere of facilitating, equitable and open communication. And just a couple other things is we have really interesting grand rounds where we have speakers come from all over the country to speak with us. And we also have health care disparities discussion, which is something that all the residents and fellows participate in to really open that line of communication. So something that's really important to us, but something that we wanted to share with you guys as well. And then Elisa already mentioned a lot of the sports coverage opportunities that we have, but this is also a way for us to really be involved in kind of the volunteering, kind of provide our commitment to the community as well. So happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I'll put my email in the chat if you want to ask me in person or over email. So thanks for everyone for coming in and joining us and talking about our program.
So I wanted to just point out for a brief second, thanks all you guys for sharing your thoughts on our program. But I just want to point out, we obviously didn't tell you what our didactic curriculum's like or what our call schedule's like. All that stuff you're going to be able to find on our website. And so you can definitely look at that at your own leisure. And I think Michael put the website link in the chat box. But I also wanted to introduce one of our associate program directors also joined us, Dr. Radenberg. It takes a village to raise a residency program. So I have a lot of help. We do have one of the largest residency programs in the country. We have a total of 40 residents. And so actually I want to take a second for Dr. Radenberg to introduce herself and talk a little bit about what she does for the program.
Dr. Radenberg, just before you start, you have 4 minutes left. Sorry.
Well, hopefully I won't talk the whole 4 minutes. So I am actually a graduate of the program and loved it so much that I stayed on. But seeing as how I was actually born next door to the old rehab hospital, I didn't really have that far to go, I suppose. I do medically complex rehab, some neuromuscular rehab, EMGs, and really I spend a good portion of my time in the education sector. So I work with our medical students and with our residents. When Carolyn Vale was talking about the really awesome attending physicians, I really think she was talking about me. So, so I like to think that I'm.
I was thinking of you, Dr.
Thank you. I mean, not to put any pressure on you or anything, but I love the relationships that we form with our residents and students. It's very much a teaching center. So we really love having students, residents. We have pharmacy residents, nursing students, therapy students, prosthetics and orthotics fellowships. So it's very much an academic teaching hospital where we're really all striving to help with the care of people with all different levels of ability and disability. So it's just a great learning environment, I think, for everyone.
All right, thanks. So we can open up for questions since we've got maybe like 2 minutes, 45 seconds, Vinnie, where are we at?
Man, you're right on, 2:47. Good job.
Pretty good. So if you guys have any questions, you can put yourself off mute and talk, or you can put it in the chat. Actually, it looks like a lot's coming in the chat, huh?
Yes, I would favor, let's go to the chat to keep it organized.
Yeah, sure, okay. Would you be able to comment on mentorship in like pursuing fellowships for in pain medicine and sports medicine? I don't know, Chiefs, you want to take that mentorship for pain medicine and sports medicine fellowship?
I can comment kind of generally too. One of the great things about our program is that there are so many attendings that do kind of any pretty much every area of PM&R. So as far as applying either, and Elisa can speak to pain probably more, but I know for sports medicine, what I'm interested in, there's a plethora of attendings to pick from, all really excited to help you kind of in your career, reaching out to you, asking if you want letters of recommendation, how can I help support your goals and those types of things. So I think the mentorship has been above and beyond what I could have hoped for.
Yeah, I totally agree with Meg. So like I said, I'm in the midst of applying to pain. I've almost finished interviewing. I had great mentorship as far as applying to pain, both from the PM&R side and Northwestern anesthesia side. I was able to spend a month rotating with anesthesia because of our really flexible elective schedule. I got a letter of recommendation from over there. I got letters of recommendation from physiatrists. I think something else that really has been a pleasant surprise is just people knowing our program name. On a number of interviews I've been in, they're like, oh, you're you know, you're at Shirley Ryan, like we love Shirley Ryan grads, like people really recognize this program. And if you come here, you're going to come out a really strong resident.
Great. The next question is, what opportunities are there for residents to teach medical students at Northwestern? Actually, Dr. Radenberg, you want to take that because you obviously are a big part of this. They actually said, for example, ultrasound workshops, MSK exam workshops, and disability education, which we tick all the boxes, I believe, right? I think you do it all.
We really do, and I kind of answered that a little bit in the chat. So we do have about 200 medical students who rotate through with us every year. So many options for teaching.
So there's another question about how open is the program and faculty allowing residents to use OMT. I will say Northwestern has a policy that anyone doing OMT must do it under faculty supervision. And in full disclosure, we have a lot of faculty who are osteopaths. We love osteopaths, but we don't actually have a lot of our osteopathic attendings practicing OMT. So, but when we do have attendings that are doing OMT, if they are willing and able to supervise any residents in doing that, we've definitely been able to do that in the past.
All right, that's all the time we had. I'm sorry, great presentation, and thank you for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot, Vinnie.